This is a quick walkthrough of this large diaphragm condenser microphone and its switches. First of all, which side is the front? You could almost see the diaphragm if I put it up to the light. The diaphragm is on the inside of this microphone grille. It's got this strong metal grille around the outside to keep it safe, keep all the components safe from damage on the inside. And you can see the shape of the grille and its design splits up the air as it moves into the capsule. Means that it tries to reduce plosives. It doesn't do it very well, so we do use a pop filter with microphones like this because they're highly sensitive. And it is a large diaphragm condenser mic. That means it's a condenser and it's got a diaphragm that's large. And the diaphragm is the thing that converts from mechanical energy of the sound waves moving through the air, and it converts that into electrical energy that of course comes out of the bottom in the XLR. If it's not in, there we are, in focus a little bit. Okay, so how do we know it's the front? Well, they thought about that possibility of us getting it wrong. They put a logo on the front. There's always a logo or a manufacturer's sign on the front, so we know what's what. Okay, this is the polar pattern switch. I can switch it between 3 polar patterns here. This is not a very normal thing to do, or to have on a microphone rather, but luckily, even though this is a cheap one, it's very versatile, and I can change it from figure of 8 to omni and to cardioid. This changes the sensitivity around the different points of the microphone from different directions of the microphone. So for example, it's now set on cardioid, which means that it's more sensitive to sounds coming from in front of the microphone than from behind. Why might I use this? Well, if I was going to record one single instrument, then maybe I want to record lots of direct sound from the instrument and not so much sound from the outside, room sound, ambient sound, reverb sound from around the room. Or perhaps I'm miking a few instruments in a room and I want to pick up just sound from one. I want it to reject sounds from behind the microphone, maybe where the other guitarist is, or the singer is, or some other sounds in the room. It won't get rid of all of the spill or the bleed from those instruments, but it will help reduce it a bit. Cardioid pickup patterns and bidirectional, that is figure of 8 pickup patterns, also exhibit proximity effect. Proximity effect is bass boost as you move towards the mic. It's the kind of sound that you'd hear radio DJs use when they get really close to the mic, and it sounds really bassy and really nice sometimes. Okay, moving to the back of the microphone, I have 2 switches. I've got this one. This one is the pad or the attenuator switch. It decreases the output level of the mic. It helps to reduce the chance of damage to the microphone if you're miking very loud sources, loud SPL, sound pressure level sources. For example, trombones, trumpets, saxophones, getting right up close to them, bass drums, maybe electric instruments, and you can reduce the level by 10 decibels. That's the pad switch. We also have a filter. We can tell what filter it is because of the little diagram. It is, of course, cutting the lows, so it's a low cut or a high pass. And we can also call it, because it's on a mic, we often call this a roll-off switch. That means that it rolls off the low frequencies. Why might we want to do this? Well, perhaps we don't like the proximity effect. Well, we could always just do that in Logic. Yeah, but you could just solve the problem here, couldn't you? Of course, we can't change where this filter is. Other more expensive microphones will change the cutoff frequency of that filter. You might be able to set it to 40 Hz, 80 Hz, 150 Hz, and have another switch to change where that's going to be, but this one doesn't. It's rather cheap. So I do have a filter. You can just put it on there, and that's going to cut some of the low frequencies, reduce proximity effect, reduce low frequencies, reduce rumble, which is low frequency sound, maybe from footsteps or from elsewhere in the studio, or from rumbles in surrounding rooms.